And with that, we are ready to go. So we're going to go to Biddy Kong for the Cowlitz Gamers' second adventure. Biddy Kong, let's go.
Hey there, folks. My name is Biddy Kong, and this is the Cowlitz Gamers' second adventure. It was a homebrew made for the Cowlitz Gamers for Kids Expo. It's a charity gaming expo out in Washington. And they made a homebrew to commemorate it. It was made by these four guys. Lucas Kerr, MT Retro Graphics did the graphics. And then the music was done by Roby and Ship Jockey, and there are some absolute bangers in this game. So look forward to that. My commentator for this run will be the Cove, and he knows a lot about this game. Requires quite a bit of concentration, so it'll be his voice you're hearing mostly during the run, and then I'll kind of come back at the end. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw it over the Cove, and we will get started.
Yo, what's up, GDQ? So we're gonna get started. The countdown will be on the next screen, so go ahead, Biddy, and pop over to that white screen. Okay, we're good whenever you want, Biddy.
Okay, cool.
So it'll be countdown. The countdown will be in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so as Biddy said, Cowlitz is a homebrew game that was developed. It was actually developed for charitable causes. The immortal John Hancock kind of half commissioned this game, I guess, back a few years ago. And you play as Kaylee, who's actually the name of his daughter. And if you play two-player, which you can see on the bottom right, there is a ladder there as well, or a rope there as well. It's a really fun co-op game. The second player is named Justice, who is John's son as well. So I thought that was a really, really cool kind of addition to the development of the game. There are 48 levels. It's a single-screen platformer, so you're going to see 48 of these individual screens. The goal of the game is on every level you need to go and pick up all of the gold nuggets, and then once you do, a way to exit the screen will appear. So you saw Biddy right there. He took a death that is very intentional. It takes a long time to kind of wind your way back out of that to get to the exit, so it's much faster to just die, and then when you respawn, get up the ladder and get to the end of the stage. So we're going through. The controls in this game also are super tight. They're really, really good. They're really fun. I will be letting you guys know later on how you can get a hold of the ROM for this. We're actually going to be playing this game, which was released a couple years ago, and then there's an expansion that was released, which is 16 more levels. So we're going to play that next. And it's one thing that I'm trying to think of how I want to phrase this. One thing that I hear from people is like, oh, it's a homebrew game, like big deal. Yeah, it looks good. The controls are good, but like you don't need to play by the constraints of the NES. Well, this actually was released on NES cartridges. So everything you see here, it can run on an NES. It runs like Biddy is running from an NES. So was really well programmed to be this kind of well-controlled of a game with no lag, with that many moving sprites. It's been really, really good. That's a really hard level, but he did it well. So this level, Biddy actually developed a strat that we didn't quite get. It's incredibly difficult. It's called Fast Zombie Kong, but there's just a few frames that you have at the end of that first girder to where you can get in between a zombie and the wall. It saves quite a bit of time if you get it, but it's incredibly tight. That's a major reset point in the run when you're trying for PBs. One thing you may have noticed after the first 8 levels, there was a color palette swap and the music changed. And so that will happen every, I believe, 8 stages. It's either 6 or 8. And I think probably for the next minute or so would be a great time for donations if you have any.
You got it. We have plenty. We have $25 from Miranda saying, donating for River City Girls, all bosses, because I do what the hosts tell me. And $10 from Code Alpha saying, more bosses, more bosses, more bosses. Now, I do want to remind you all that we have that incentive still open to upgrade the River City Girls run to all bosses. We need about $1,300, and that run is coming up in less than an hour. So if you want more GDQ, if you want more bosses, if you want more awesome games, get those donations in for the River City Ransom, or the River City Girls all bosses incentive.
Awesome. Yeah, let's definitely get there. That game is so fun. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to talk about quick are the difficulties in this game. We're playing on easy, and a lot of speed games play on easy for a few different reasons. One is lesser difficulty, so you can go faster. The main reason we're playing on it, the first three difficulties, easy, normal, and hard, they all play this the exact same. You just start with a different amount of lives, and you need for each of those difficulties, you can gain lives by picking up gold pieces. And so easy requires less pieces to get a life than hard, for example. So there isn't too much difference. We play on easy just so we can death warp more, which makes it faster. On the ace difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty, you actually only have one life. So you need to do a damageless run because literally everything in this game kills you in one hit. There is no way to gain lives, and there's no, you just have one to start. And so that is an incredibly marathon unsafe run, which is one reason why we're running on easy and not attempting an ace run here. This is a homebrew game, yes. It came out 3 years ago, roughly. This was actually run at a GDQ before. At GDQX in 2018, I was lucky enough to be able to run this, and I'm just thrilled that they let Biddy come back and run this as well as the expansion, because I think this is, the homebrew community has been really, really vibrant for the NES over the last, many years. And being able to show a game like this doesn't come around that often, the opportunity, and so I'm just really thankful to GDQ because it's just such a joy, and it's so much fun if you actually play it. Okay, so this is the halfway point of the first game. If you hold A on that screen for some reason, which you do to make the text go by fast, Kaylee jumps when she gets to the middle of the screen. Not sure why, but... so we are on to what's called the tower levels. So when you started the game, the height actually said negative 300 meters or something. You're actually underground searching for gold, and now you're actually above ground level at the halfway point. You're climbing a tower to the top of this tower. One other thing I think is pretty important to mention, the game is completely deterministic. So every time you start a level, if you do the same inputs, it will react exactly the same. It's kind of cycle based as well. So when we're running through these stages, some of them are a little more forgiving than others in a speed run. A lot of times you're not saying, let's beat the stage as fast as we possibly can with optimal inputs. It's, we need to wait for this cycle, and so we can lose. On some stages you can lose, say, half a second of time, and still beat it the fastest you'd be able to beat it, if that makes sense. Other levels, the fastest way to play it, you will be right at the cycle, and so some are really unforgiving and really tight, hard levels. Some are kind of more relaxing levels because you have a little time that you can spare. Probably have another 30 seconds or so for donations.
Absolutely. We have $25 from Czar and Star saying, congrats to Biddy Kong for being part of such an awesome event and awesome cause. And $5 from RPD234 saying, here's $5 worth of paving the way forward towards more River City Girls bosses and keeping an eye on that incentive for you. Looks like we still need about $1,250, so let's keep those donations coming.
Thank you, everybody. I love seeing those donations coming in, especially for that River City Girls, incentive. Yeah, so we are coming down to the last set of levels here, almost. I will say the developers, especially MT and Lucas, that Biddy showed at the beginning of the game, they have been very, very kind of friendly and thoughtful, and they hop in your streams when you play sometimes. It's been really nice kind of getting to know them over the years of playing this, and so not only is it a really fun game to play and to speedrun, or to couch co-op, but they also like to just come watch people play their own game, which I think is pretty neat. I guess I didn't go over a lot of the enemies. The main ones that I probably want to hit on, the yellow slugs, they will jump when you get to them. And so the only way to kind of get past them is to duck as they approach you. There's two kind of tricks to dealing with them. You have, one is that there's only one frame that you need to be crouched. So there might be some times where it looks like Biddy hits it, but he's actually crouching and he knows where that collision detection is. And then once he passes that point, he can save a few frames by just standing up and running. The second part of it is it's almost TAS only, but there is a way that you can jump over the yellow slugs, but you don't really want to be doing that in runs. You can do it to show off, but that's about it. Also, you've seen some yellow turtles that he's been killing. They actually hide, or golden turtles, I suppose. They actually hide a piece of gold. And so you do need to kill those as well as collecting the other pieces of gold. I think most of the other enemies, you kind of know, you can at least figure out how the AI works. It's not that complicated. Every enemy has pretty simplistic AI, but the way that the levels have been designed makes it so that they can still be a pain in the butt. Oh, and you see that diamond in the middle? You can get that diamond. In fact, there are 48 diamonds in the game, one in each stage, and you usually have to do something special to either make the diamond accessible or to make it appear. And so like this stage, it looks like you can't get to that diamond, but where that rat is in the lower left, if you go to the very right of that, which Biddy's going to show us, thank you, you'll actually teleport to the top right by the diamond. And so every single one of the stages, you can collect a diamond. Every 8 diamonds you collect, maybe 6 diamonds? Either 6 or 8 diamonds you collect, you go to a special bonus stage. And so we do have kind of an all diamonds, or we call that 100% category on speedrun.com as well, that can add some enjoyment to the game. Okay, so we are on the last level. So right directly after this level, we are going to swap over to the other expansion pack game. So bear with us for a couple seconds while we swap. But yeah, this was Cowlitz, and Biddy's coming in with a nice time, yeah. Mid-12 is a really good time in this game. Okay, so here we are with the Cowlitz Lost Adventures. This was an expansion pack, like I said. It was released about a year ago, give or take. It has 16 more levels. So we've seen 48, we're gonna do 16 more. It'll bring us to a grand total of 64 levels. I will let you know that you can get both of these games on itch.io. If you actually go to action53.itch.io, you can pick up Action 53, which includes a whole slew of homebrew games, and Lost Adventures is on there. And then if you just go to itch.io and search for Cowlitz, you can find the first game that we played as well. And both are free to download. I know with Cowlitz Gamer's second adventure, they did recommend that you make a charitable donation if you download it. And mainly because, I mean, the game was made for charity. And so they have a link to, I think, LifeWorks Washington, which is who John Hancock worked with. But I'm pretty sure that for this, people wouldn't mind if you threw a donation to GDQ if you decide to download it. Yeah, obviously it's optional. Times are tough right now, but we really love the generosity that you guys have been showing throughout the week already. So thank you so much for that. Probably some donations for another 30 seconds or so.
Absolutely. We have a $50 donation from Justin Dark saying, let's see the River City Girls, all bosses. And friendly reminder there, we are still about a little over $1,000 away from upgrading that River City Girls run to all bosses. We also have a $25 donation from Johnny Viral saying AGDQ is the best way to start the year every year. Shout out to the tech staff and hosts.
Okay, so we are in the second half. Instead of kind of the halfway point being level 24, and you see that midway screen, we saw that after level 8. There's a you see Biddy shake his head. There's a couple levels that have really tight cycles, and
It's really
some
fun.
of them are levels that he likes doing if he does them right. Like, some of the levels feel really, really good if you do them perfectly, but they're so tight that odds are you're not going to. The one thing that Biddy decided, though, is he's going to try for everything. And whenever you see an intentional death, it's most likely because it was a really tight cycle. But because there's not a lot of punishment for death in this game, you respawn right at the bottom. And in fact, like I've talked about earlier, sometimes it's better to die. It's faster to die. He thought it would be more fun for you guys if he's trying for all the harder cycles. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to hit about this before we get to the end. But I will say this has been a really kind of small. There's probably about 10 people who've ever speedrun this, so it's really a small community of speedrunners. But the people who have run it are super, super cool. I will give a shout out to Sir Phobos. He is the current world record holder and has held the record for about a year on the first game we played, Second Adventure. And his time is really, really good. And so this is the last level. Time will not be on this level. It will be kind of when we get to the top of the rope on the next screen. This level is kind of mean because if you look on the right there, boom, you have like a hidden chandelier, a troll chandelier that tries to get you. But awesome job, Biddy. We're gonna get to the top here, and we got time in 3, 2, 1, and time. GG, Biddy. That was really fun to watch. Really good runs. I was really pleasantly surprised with your time. It looks really good.
Yeah, I didn't hit a couple of the tighter strats there on the last tower, unfortunately, but it was still fun. I think it worked. One thing I do want to point out real quick, this game is a homebrew that has secret characters. Every time you beat it on a different difficulty level, you actually unlock more secret characters, so that code down there at the bottom lets you play as these 2 that you rescued. And they're all cameo appearances from that Action 53 thing that Cove referenced earlier, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, good point out there. But yeah, anything else you want to say, Biddy? Otherwise, thanks everyone for for watching this. Thanks GDQ for letting us play this again or have this again here, because it's just such a good game.
Yeah, that's about it for me. Thank you, Code, for doing the commentary. That was awesome. Thanks to, just for me personally, thanks to KLM and Streiser and Mazimov, and all the RGR guys. Don't know that I would even be speedrunning without you guys. Ty Tuna as well. And then also to the GDQ staff. Make sure you go download the game. We would love to have more people in the community running this one. It's been a ton of fun. Thank you guys, and I will sign off there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Biddy, for that amazing run of Cowlitz 2. Now, we are getting set up for Fist of the North Star. That's going to be coming up in just a couple minutes with Starwind. And here's where we stand when it comes to the River City Girls incentive, upgrading things to all bosses. Right now, we are a little over $1,000 away. We're at $29.84 of $4,000 to upgrade the River City Girls run to all bosses. And the River City Girls run takes place after the next 2 runs. So what I'm thinking is, since we got the Fist of the North Star run coming up, Chad, I know you like anime. Chad, what if you contribute a $5 donation, get a $5 train go, and let us know your favorite anime during the Fist of the North Star run? I think that might be a good way to both get some anime going and also to meet that incentive as well for the River City Girls all bosses run. And on that note, we have a $50 donation from Omax saying River City Girls is an absolute delight, and anything that helps get us more of it has got my donation. Well, thank you very much, Omax, for that $50 donation. Again, here at AGDQ 2021 online, we are going fast and raising money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. Pyro Hero Matt contributes $25, saying, just woke up. Announcer says donate. I donate. I don't know how I feel about that kind of power, Pyro Hero Matt, but thank you very much for your contribution to PCF. Ray Bello donates $25, saying, good morning, U.S. East Coast. Good whatever time it is to the rest of the world. I hope everyone is having a great AGDQ so far. Thank you to all involved for supporting such a great cause. Greg, the donations guy, contributes $250 to the Prevent Cancer Foundation, saying, great to see Earthbound being run here at SGDQ 2017. In honor of the Earthbound run, I've sent this message via Escargo Express neglected class mail. Hope it gets there in time. Don't forget to save the animals. Oh, Greg, you tried. We appreciate the $250 donation all the same. Maybe don't go neglected class next time around. Well, it looks like here we are at about $950 away from that River City Girls run being upgraded to all bosses. So keep those donations coming in. We're closing the gap. I've seen you do so much more, Twitch chat. I know we can get there to that River City Girls all bosses incentive. T-Bon contributes $25 to the Prevent Cancer Foundation, saying, you guys are awesome. Keep up the great work. And we have a $25 donation from Marks saying, good to see that neither COVID nor 2020 can